Welcome back to News First. Some residents and mayors have voiced their concerns over a plan to move this year's Liberation Carnival to Oka Point. The plan was approved at a mayor's council meeting yesterday. PNC's Tim McHenry has more.
So here's the story. Agana Heights Mayor Paul McDonald says there is zero chance of the Liberation Carnival being held in Tiyan next year. The expected destination, Oka Point. This was agreed on at a mayor's council meeting yesterday. However, some disagree with the mayor's expected destination, mainly Tony Charfaris, who is a member of the Tamuning Municipal Planning Committee, who said that his committee already rejected this idea when it was just a rumor a couple months ago.
Some of the concerns of the MPC meetings at that time was that the place was not the right place to have a carnival because of the parking facility, the neighborhood, and the other thing that they were kind of concerned about is that if they wanted something like that done, why don't they call a public hearing and so that the residents will voice the concerns about it? That was some of the concerns that were brought up by the MPC members. So we took a vote and it was rejected. The idea was rejected at that time. So we thought that was the end of that.
But Mayor McDonald doesn't see a need for a public hearing, and he says parking shouldn't be an issue. That addresses those two main concerns by Charfaris.
No, it's not required. It's just that to get permission from the agencies. But again, there's no parking issue. We don't foresee any parking issues because we have ample parking once we clean up Oka Point inside.
McDonald says that when the carnival was first moved to Tiyan, they started with 120 vendors. Since then, the number has dropped to 60. That's a 50% drop-off. But the carnival has called Tiyan home for a few years, and an infrastructure is already in place. So what to do with the infrastructure?
The facilities or the buildings that are there are all temporary. So we can move it and bring it up to wherever the site is going to be.
So the Mayor's Council plans to physically transfer temporary buildings from Tiyan into the Oka Point spot for a 2 to 3 month period. Well, they will then have to move the infrastructure back to whichever spot they decide the carnival should be held in next year, which McDonald said should be in Paseo. He did not have the financial requirements available for that move. Another issue with the infrastructure at Tiyan is the electricity and sewage. McDonald says that GPA charges them $55,000 each year to connect and disconnect power lines. McDonald said that GPA used to leave power lines at Tiyan for further use, but thieves stole them, so they have to reline the carnival every year. He also says that it costs $10,000 every week to drain sewage from the Tiyan site to the sewer, something that won't be an issue when the carnival leaves Tiyan. McDonald did have a message for residents who are concerned about parking and noise in Tamuning if the carnival comes to Oka Point.
Disruptive activities that go on at the Greyhound because it's closer to the residents. You know, and God, I'm sure that you've been to those concerts that go on. There's not only the noise, the traffic, but the marijuana that goes, you know, in there, the smoke that goes in there. So,
for PNC News, I'm Tim McHenry.